Hello everyone, it's Dom Sacco here, joined by
Nathan Edmonds. You're the boomer, I'm the zoomer. You got to do that.
And I'm the boomer.
And I'm the zoomer.
And we're here for our podcast. This is our first one in a long time, Nathan. I'm really excited.
It's over a year.
Oh, I don't know.
That's one at Apex.
Insomnia. We did one at Insomnia last October when I left the room and someone started on me. That's a story. That's another story.
Have you not told that yet?
No, luckily you were there to help defend me. That'll come out in my book at some point. But well, possibly an ebook. Look at this. This is really chaos here. Do you want us to move a minute? We're at the Blast Premier Spring Final. We're having to move. 1 second. Right. As we were saying, we've just been moved. We're at a warehouse loading bay at Wembley OVO Arena, right? At the Blast Premier Spring Final.
Yeah, with all the chairs in the background. We found a spot, haven't we? Yeah.
There's literally nowhere else to sit. There's a bit of a scuffed press area, and we can't. There's no room in there.
Because it's set up like a set-up barrier.
Yeah, I've been here before at the Wembley League of Legends Worlds thing in 2015, and we had a nice room up there. We did have one the other day for the media day, so I don't know what's happened with this. But literally, there was nowhere for us to sit down and do an interview.
Odd, isn't it? Yeah.
There was the press mix area, but that was all standing up. And for these podcasts, we like to sit down.
Yeah, it's nice, because we'll ramble on for a bit.
But I was just saying, before I was interrupted by the guys moving stuff, doing their jobs, I'm excited about this podcast because this is the first one that's truly independent, I think, because you're no longer at Hot Drop, so Keenan Lowe no longer has to sign off on the podcast.
He's got no control over me anymore. He's got no control.
Exactly, and it's independent because you've left Hot Drop to do your own agency now, so it's called Get In, right?
Called Get In, yeah. The idea came to me, the natural name came to me on a dog walk. I quite liked it's a British slang word, isn't it? Get in, like get in there, like it's a celebratory word, so there's a positive spin on it. But there's also quite a lot of puns and ways you can get it into kind of lingo and kind of sales stuff too. So a lot of our websites like get involved, and we've used it as like a new word. And yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun. Look. We'll get into it, and I was going to go down the freelance route, sole trader route. Spoke to a few people. I spoke to you out of many people, and kind of look, it's just safer to be under a business. It was safer to be under an LTD for many different reasons. So hence decided that route, and hence decided with the name, the branding. Worked behind the scenes for about a month and a half before it was announced, and from this day we're recording Sunday, the 16th of June. About 3 weeks ago, it was looking rough. Like, I didn't really have much coming in. There was conversations, but as you know, conversations are conversations, and nothing was really coming through. I was fortunate that Summit, Ollie, who used to run London United, I work with them quite a bit, and they were fortunate. They were my first client. They paid the bills for a few, for the first month, and I'm very fortunate for kind of Ollie entrusting me with that, and we still work with them, so it's really cool. But I can now say 3 weeks later, since it's all been announced, like we've got 2 really cool clients, 2 pretty big clients. Obviously, I can't really say publicly, and I won't say in a public forum. But and I can't relax now. It's a lot of work to be done, but like I can take a breather of like I know, rent's paid for the next few months. Like we're good, we're fine. So but a few weeks ago it was looking a bit scary. It's a difficult landscape.
World. Yeah. That's what it's like for me. When you've got clients in, and shout out to GGBet who've supported Esports News UK with our Blast Premier Spring Final coverage, but when you don't have that for a few months, you do think a bit, there's nothing coming in. I am more of I have great freelancers and volunteers helping me out now and then, but I'm still a bit of a one-man band. I am a sole trader. It's stressful, but if you can... I think those annual deals or those longer-term deals, that's what I've got to focus on. Yeah. But years like this, where we've got loads of events going on, that helps because I'm more likely to get sponsors in for those events.
And I think the objective we're getting is, look, we're fortunate to have 1 or 2 big contracts, but the reality is the other ones are smaller retainers that other agencies wouldn't get out of the bed for. Like, it'd be pointless, A couple £100 to £1,000 a month is like, what's the point, right? But in my mind, if I can, and I can at the moment, work with these brands, it's like, look, and show value to them and work with them in the early stages of their business, because they can't throw, it's a privilege to have a good social media manager and have all that, right? So to understand all that bits, then collaborate with them in the early doors, and the aim is to build out their business, build out our partnership together, and collaborate from there. I'm not here to rinse them for all their early startup money and then they never work with us again. I'm saying, look, you pay us a small little fee now, we work together, in 6 months let's review it and see if we can expand it. If not, that's fine, and that's the reality. I'm fortunate, right now leaning on freelancers like yourself as well. One of my goals for 2024 though is to have a full-time employee. I would like a full-time employee by then.
To get there. That's why I want to do
really
more
cool
annual deals. It's hard. But with you, Nath, I'm forgetting about that. By the way, we're playing, there's another sort of esports tournament here. These employees are playing the game. How noisy can they make the trolleys? They're pushing them. You don't need to shout though, this will pick us up nicely. It will, because it's directional. Not that you were shouting, but,
I was.
But just, you don't have to worry about the noise. Yeah. What were you saying to me again now? Can't remember what you were saying now.
A full-time employee, that's the aim,
Yeah, I would love to get there, but it's hard, But well done. The fact that you've got clients in already and you've set up you've got nice branding. You were at ESI London in the week. Shout out to Esports Insider. Were you with EFG, right?
We were with ESG, yeah.
Sorry, ESG.
Yeah, I get mixed up too, yeah. They're, really, really cool startup, not for profit. I'm actually with, I think you're going to write about it, in Basingstoke with James and Lee for 5 days. It's on
my list. Hopefully in the next week I'll get onto that. It's been so busy with Blast.
So that's next Friday to Tuesday. So that's 5 days setting up, getting it all, and kind of taking it to the public for the first time, really, other than these events that we've done. So that'll be fun. But one of my big clients starts on the same week, so it's going to be a lot of work. And
juggling.
And I think that kind of sneeze. That's me. Hay fever season, everyone, is, how embarrassing is it being allergic to plants, like Jesus. But I was saying to Andrew earlier, who you met, Andrew Batoon at NVIDIA X Swipe Right, I was saying to him that it's a weird feeling, because from next week, that's it really. I'm going to be really, really busy. These events are a privilege, and as you know, to come into an event like this sets you back. Workload-wise, because you're networking, you're chatting along to people, you're not sitting just grinding out work.
I'm missing other news stories. I have a long list of other news stories I've missed out on because I've been doing loads of Blast content.
So you'll travel back tonight, which will be 2 hours, whatever. You have to catch up all tonight. Jesus. You have to catch up all tonight, tomorrow morning, which then just sets everything else back. And then you play basically a couple of weeks catch-up for a weekend, and it's like, for a weekend of fun, sets you back, which is
sometimes it takes me a whole week to catch up on things. Like I've got a James Banks interview, Jackie interview to do. You've got to listen back, edit, transcribe, pull out quotes, do a TikTok, and it all adds up. Get your images sorted. And we've had really nice photography from Jonathan Yao this week. We've had Reese Barrett helping with the articles.
So we've got security coming to kick us out. We'll find out.
Is there anything else we want to talk about? I mean, I was going to say, you were mentioning puns you can do with Get In. If you work with Nintendo and Splatoon, you can do Get Inc.
There you go. Well, Splatoon, if you've got any, marketing managers that are working on it, watching this, give us a shout.
We've done Yuki have done the Digital Schoolhouse finals, the Splatoon school finals that they brought me along. That was great. I did some sponsored stuff there.
Did you see that Nick, the new Yuki CEO, got awarded an MBE? Or was it an OBE?
I might have missed that. Was that at the start of this year?
No, it was like 2-3 days ago.
2-3 days ago. Oh, I forgot that, because they have
ESI London, when I checked on my phone.
So they have the New Year's honours list, don't they, at the start of the year?
It was the King's birthday one. That was it. Birthday honours.
That's interesting. I'll look into that. He doesn't have much of a games industry background, from what I understand.
Arts and museums and stuff like that, right?
But, I think.
Congrats, Nick.
Congrats to him. You need people from all different backgrounds. If we only had people in the games industry that were, super experienced, sometimes there's value coming from other industries. You've worked with different clients in different industries, haven't you? Alpine and stuff is more racing.
Yeah, so Hot Drop do like work Alpine. Right now, I'm fortunate to have 2 sports clients. Interesting. I mean, sports is not my forte, of course, but there's a lot of crossover, and there's I think you find that you don't have to be the most endemic of endemics to be able to work in some industries. So yeah, I'm quite fortunate for that perspective.
Yeah. Just carry on. And so I'm really excited for you, Nath. I wish you good luck.
Thank you, man.
With your what's the word I'm thinking of? It's like a new adventure, isn't it? You know, a new campaign and stuff like that. And for people not knowing out there, is it going to be mainly social media, or are you going to do, you know, marketing, agency?
We've listed 3 core pillars on the website. So it's social, that's my bread and butter, from the strategy to the day-to-day, managing the accounts, you know, to creating all the content. Then you've got digital marketing. Yeah, sure, social falls under that barrier, but we've kind of expanded it into, like, you know, paid campaigns, like kind of online activations and in-person activations if there's any those things kind of arise. Yeah. And then the third one is called creative content. So that's like storyboarding, the more graphic design, production bit. It will never be a focus of Get In, I can imagine, but there will be a point in you know, in a year's time maybe, where we'll have a full-time graphic designer and a full-time editor to, like, help with all the projects. So yeah, they're the 3 core. Like, keep it niche enough where it's I guess, you know, you're not trying to do everything, but keep it broad enough that they all complement each other, I think. So we get a social client on board, but we can deliver additional things to support that campaign is the idea. Yeah.
Which former colleagues would you hire? You could have Boaster in there, couldn't you? Boaster and Kiernan.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Boaster's a good one. I'd love to do Boaster's socials and, like, help him with, like, a TikTok or something, you know. That'd be really cool. There's a story. I don't know if I'll be vague about it. There's a really big, and I won't say the game because you'll know exactly.
Right.
Okay, if you promise not to say, then no, I won't. Really big creator, really big, one of the biggest. Yeah. I used to run their socials when they weren't too big, but it was unpaid, and they just said, like, look, take whatever revenue you make from the accounts. But there was no revenue because they were tiny at the time. They're massive now, and that's the one I look back and I think, shit, like, I should have just stuck with it.
Yeah,
and
but
like,
you can put that on your portfolio.
No, because it was.
No, why not?
It was 3-4 years ago.
So what?
Maybe I would have to ask them.
I'll ask them, of course.
I'll say the name as soon as this ends.
I'm sure
but
they would. You know,
I messaged them again and said, like, you know,
get a testimonial from them and put it on your Get In website.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Yeah, it's a good shout because yeah, they're big, yeah, real big, and I wish I stuck with it a little bit, you know.
Well, but hindsight is a wonderful thing. Yeah. You know, this life is full of what ifs. You know, I've seen people who I may have thought, are they a bit difficult to work with, go on to do good things. I've seen people who I thought, oh, they're great, they've got a bright future ahead, and then they've been cancelled. You can't always predict, can you?
Yeah, no, you're right, yeah.
You've got to adapt, but that sounds really positive.
Yeah, it's really cool. But I will say, to answer your question, probably, I do miss, like, my little team at Hot Drop, you know. Like, honestly, great people there. So I miss working with a fully fledged team on a day because it's kind of riding a bit solo now, you know. Like, I'm about to get a freelance on board for, like, you know, probably $1,000 to $2,000 a month, and they'll help me with a few things. But, like,
wow, that's good. You got that kind of money free to pump in, you know, because
I think
you've got that freedom, haven't you? You're young, you don't quite have the commitments. I know I've said this in the past before, commitments I've got, and that is my choice to be married with a mortgage and kids and everything, but it does help.
And I think, look, for the first few months, the end goal is sure. I'm not going to bullshit here. The end goal is I would love to be hyper successful, and, you know, for me to be hyper successful and, like, you know, be able to support my friends and family financially around me. That's the end goal, really. Like, I want to make enough money where I'm able to do that. Reality short term is I don't need a big salary, so I'll take the bare minimum of what I can, just so
what I do.
Yeah, just so I can pay my rent, I can get my food, and I can live, you know, a nice life, but it's not no luxury. That's my aim for at least the first year, maybe 2 years, and then all what I've built up in the bank then will be worthwhile. That, you know, that money that I haven't paid directly to me and I've left in the bank of the business will be worth it, because I'd have built those finances
so
up.
If it does well, then Lux, your dog, could have like a sort of diamond encrusted kennel in the future or something.
That's the goal, man. You know it. Yeah, exactly.
They're going to add some more chairs here. That's interesting.
Honestly, it is mental.
This is the weirdest place I've done an interview. Like, it feels like a weird dream or something. You know?
I love it because the security and fair play.
Yeah.
We take the mick sometimes. Insomnia's not around anymore, but the Insomnia security was a bit embarrassing, wasn't it? Really, it's not
Ups
really
and downs.
security. Yeah, they don't check your bags. They don't do anything. Here, you can't get anywhere without being searched, passed. Like, it's really strong. But I'm sure for fans, it makes you feel comfortable and secure, right?
What were your thoughts on the Blast premiere? Did you watch much today?
I didn't watch much.
Team Spirit just won.
I got here at 5 p.m. Had a meeting with the guy at Blast for about an hour.
Yeah.
Saw Sam and Andrew, and then saw you. And then, I actually was watching, and it was 12-6 or something. I asked some fans behind me. I was like, "It's first to 15, right?" And they were like, "Yeah." And then, as I looked back at the screen, the game ended. It was first to 13, and I thought, "What am I getting first to 15 from? Was CS not first to 15?"
No, it's. I think it's 13, isn't it?
Yeah, but it is, yeah.
But
but
it can go to 15 if they're going to overtime.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking about probably. Then, yeah. I mean, Jesus, God.
And you were talking about different campaigns you're doing.
Yeah.
I have to say it, but if you work with any clients who want to hit the media and they want value, I'm not going to charge what the big boys charge.
It'll be top of my list,
yeah,
of course.
You.
Yeah. And
but obviously, I'll have smaller reach than your Dixertos and your Esports GGs out there, who all do a good job as well.
No, but yeah, that goes without saying. You don't even need to say that. Is that I've got a pool of. I think that the other thing too, I think I said in your in the press release that went out on your website, is that at some point I would love to support other businesses, so like the Swipe Ripes, the Story Moms, the Hot Drops, maybe like all these different agencies within this industry. We're not going to be able to do everything, so if I can pass these on to other businesses to support them, because we're all struggling. It's a tough business. Esports is going through a tough zone. It will bounce back, as we know, and it naturally will. Gaming also, and they'll work in tandem together.
Around esports.
Always, yeah. So we'll have I think we'll end on a positive year. Worlds is going to be super exciting in the UK, right? So that's something to look forward to. But if we can support other businesses in the space, absolutely is my goal, because we're not here to be the next giant agency and tear down everybody else and be the only one. Like, we will coincide with everybody. That's the goal. Yeah. Of course, I want it to be big and have loads of people. And I think hiring people is exciting, because it's like you get to give a handful of people within the industry a full-time position, which is quite rare. Having a full-time job in esports is bloody difficult, isn't it? Really difficult. We take it for advantage sometimes, I think.
I've just thought of another pun you can use. If you decide to fire anyone in the future, you can say "get out." But by the way, talking of agendas, because we just came into this blind. What are your thoughts on the Esports Awards? Jumping into bed with Saudi Arabia and the Esports World Cup Foundation, or whatever it is. That's been a big talking point, hasn't it?
That
recently?
is, yeah. I've kind of avoided commenting around any of this, but this is, I think it's gone a step too far now. I will await to see what happens. That's what I want to see. Because the reality is, the possible things that could happen with this conflict of interest are real extensive. Will they do it? I don't know. Because the issue is, there's two levels to it. There's a first level, which is the worst case is that, let's say, a gay man gets voted for XYZ. Will he even be? Will it just be everybody that isn't from these marginalised regions? Sorry, these marginalised areas voted in, and everybody else will be avoided. So if you're gay, you won't even reach. You won't even be an option. Do you know what I mean? You won't even be part of the conversation.
Because what Saudi have said, from what I remember in the past, is that everyone's welcome to their esports events, but their laws and their actions don't align with that. So I don't know what will happen if they'll make a particular exception to esports community.
I've watched a lot of Richard Lewis stuff recently, but Richard Lewis has every single year been part of the nominees for Esports Journalist of the Year. He definitely will not be this year. Do you know?
I don't know, because the Esports Awards, they will probably come out and say they run the awards. It's independent.
They said that, didn't they? They said that the Esports World Cup or Saudi will have no involvement.
Whether he'd want to go or not, I can't speak for Richard. Me personally, I couldn't afford to get out to Vegas anyway. So I don't expect to be nominated this year. Last year I had a lot more exclusives and things, and it's just getting more and more competitive every year. There's some great journalists here. There was some great I was chatting to some really nice guys from HLTV in the press room who were giving me some good intel on the maps and all of that stuff. It's hard to say, isn't it, Nave? But I'm interested to see. I've been very much a fence sitter, a journalist. I can see both sides, that sort of style of reporting. I'm interested to see if the community's views, or in general, their views on Saudi's involvement in esports, if that will change after the Esports World Cup. What is it going to look like? Yeah. I'm sure the broadcasts are going to be impressive. Yeah. You know, but for me, I've seen such a big disconnect between the community and the fans, a lot of which are, a lot of whom are upset with, obviously, Saudi's stance on the LGBT plus community, and then the disconnect between the esports team owners and management in general, not everyone, who are, you know, happy to take the funds. It's been crazy for me to see big esports orgs like your guilds and out there taking money from Saudi to bring these new players and teams in for the Esports World Cup, and then they're also competing for prize money there.
It's odd, isn't it? Yeah, it's odd.
It's really, esports is changing a lot. It's a weird year because we've got loads of events in the UK. The grassroots is getting hammered. I'll keep writing stories about people being owed money and this, that, or orgs going under or closing. Raptors were the latest one, the CS lot who announced they're going the other. I need to still do an article on that. So, what are your general views on the market as well, Nate? All that I've been waffling about.
Yeah, I'll just quickly end on the esports awards things. Is that because the first part is interesting because that cannot be an issue. Like everyone, regardless of what you've done or who you are, your work should be the credit. It doesn't matter if you've spoken against, you know, the esports awards or anything of Saudi. You should still be fully, you know, open to be voted for that. However, then the second point is, are you going to go? Well, no, you know, like, and they've said on the, you know, people have always been willing to accept on, you know, video acceptance speeches and stuff like that. But think, because we're not in that demographic, right? But think if you're a gay person and you win that award, you're not going to go over there because it's illegal for you to be there. It is by law illegal, so you're not going to feel comfortable going. That's speaking for the majority. I don't know if everyone feels that way. And then would you even see the award as any kind of value at all because they're there? Do you know what I mean? So it's real difficult.
Well, I don't know the full laws and ins and outs, but isn't it like if you're showing public displays of affection?
It's public displays of affection, but I mean, actually being gay is illegal. So yeah, there's more level.
Hide it in a way, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, if you publicly, you know, look, the reality is we're not going to arrest people for going over there in the esports worlds if they said I'm gay, but the possibilities there, so it's scary. I wouldn't feel scared going there, but like you can imagine if you're gay you absolutely would so it's one of those things, isn't it, right? And it's also the laws around women too. You can say it's got better, great, it has got better, but it's not to the level it is in, you know, other parts of the world, and sure, other parts of the world are worse too. That's a kind of boring argument, isn't it, really? Because like, yeah, it's, you should
say what about this, what about that?
Yeah, and sure, but that's
it's based in you know, China 10% owned Riot, and then you can look at other things. I mean, people even forget. I don't forget. We've had things in America like the Madden tournament a few years ago where there was a shooting there and some people died. Like, I don't forget things like that either. I personally wouldn't feel safe going to America. I know people might say, oh, Dom, the shootings are few and far between. But my stance, I think when you become a parent, your views change a bit. I wouldn't want to take my kids out to America, to be honest.
Yeah. You're right, yeah.
Like I maybe would have done 10 years ago.
It's totally fair. I think, there's different levels to it. But to go back to your other question, sorry. Thoughts on the space? Yeah, I think the Saudi money is interesting, isn't it? Because it's not needed. The industry would have grown at a much smaller rate and a much arguably more sustainable. But this money being available is, I feel, maybe counterproductive to some teams, because instead of being forced into being productive and sustainable and thinking how can we save every penny, they're going, oh, here's another load of money you have access to now, you can still continue as you want to go on. So there's no incentive for any top esports org to really be frugal and spend frugally. Like it's just let's keep our operations, let's do all the cool things, even though if it doesn't bring revenue. You're right.
I feel like it's propped up a few orgs though. You know, the finances of some of those big orgs.
Absolutely.
I've read some bits and pieces and heard some things, and some of it sounds a little bit worrying. So maybe it has propped up a couple, but
because Richard Lewis hits the head on many points, but he hit the point on saying there's an article that came out saying the Saudi money has made it. It's trying to make it sustainable. It doesn't. It only extends how long we can bullshit it, really. And how long it just gives us an extended period to keep going until that runs out. Money, then we're fucked again. Like there's no real solution here, is it? Nobody's actually gone. It's $1 million question, of course. Nobody's gone. Okay, look, guys, we have to be really honest here. You need to cut this. You need to cut that, and you need to take a couple of steps back. You need to go back a couple of years. You know, an esports organisation can't be this glamorous thing right now. You need to go back a couple of years, reframe, restructure, and go again with the objective to make revenue. That should be the objective, is to start, make a small profit and make a larger profit, then make a real good profit. That's the goal, not just, be fine with losing and keep losing because, well, it does catch up with you. There's only so much borrowing you can do. There's only so much shares you can keep liquidating until all the pools have dried up. And because the thing is, we are running ourselves into just a deep hole of it's going to collapse, as we saw in the last few months. It may get worse if, again, the Saudi money dries up, because, again, this is just extending it. It's not. Or
if they get bored. We haven't had an Esports World Cup yet with the Saudis running it. What happens if they get bored after a couple of years?
And they don't. What if they don't see esports as a actual revenue driver and they just want to focus on sports instead? And that could absolutely be a realistic thing, right? Because the thing is, it is impossible to make a return on what they're spending. Do you know what I mean? Impossible. But as we know, they don't care about making a return.
They're trying to diversify, aren't they, their revenues away from just oil or mainly oil. So, and people forget, or maybe don't realise, I think they've got like a 9% stake in Nintendo. Might need to check the actual figure. They've got stakes in different development. It's not just esports, but they must believe in esports. Yeah. So in a way, I do, I like that they believe in esports to put money in, but then it's difficult, isn't it?
It's just the region has growing to do. It needs to be accepting of free speech and accepting of everybody before the Western world will accept it. And that's the reality. But that's not going to happen any sure. Yeah, that's a complicated issue. That's real complicated.
I could talk about this forever. The thing. I'm conscious of timings, Nath. I've got a long journey and everything. Is there anything else you want to chat about? I feel like we've been chatting for 20-30 minutes.
We've spoken about. What have we got coming up?
So next weekend we've got depending on when this is published, I've got a lot to get through. It's the Rocket League Major in London, and it's going to be the first event.
Where's that? I'm
going to take my eldest son to, and I'm not really going to be working there that much. I might do a fun article about it.
Interview your son.
I could do an audio recording actually. I did interview him when Pokemon, what's the MOBA?
I think I remember you posted it.
The Pokemon MOBA game came out. I did an article on that. He still really likes that game. He wants to play League of Legends, but my wife isn't so keen on the age ratings and stuff like that.
Well, it's more their community, isn't it?
Community. Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, he wouldn't be playing it online yet. No way. He would only be playing bots and stuff. What else have we got after that? I can't remember. Obviously, we've got World's Finals in November. That's quite a way away. That's in December. Yeah. I can't remember what... We were due to have this Superdome event. I think it might have been a Valorant event. But because Insomnia's gone now, that's likely not going to happen. Roomfest is up in the air, unless I've missed some news around that. We've got a bit of a gap now. We've had a lot, haven't we? Thick and fast. We've had the Siege Major in Manchester. We've had the Halo Major in London.
I guess we didn't speak about Insomnia, did we, enough, really?
No, we haven't spoken about Insomnia. I mean, this happened a while ago. I broke the news, and, they owe, I think it's Player One Events, $8 million overall, and, there's not enough for all the creditors to get what they're owed.
Is that it? I haven't really kept up with it. What's going on?
They haven't spoken publicly. Player One Events, which is going into liquidation, and the owners, Supernova Capital, haven't spoken publicly. I've reached out. Sometimes there's reasons for not speaking publicly, but it would be nice to get some kind of comment. I think the Insomnia community are owed that. We've got this Landcraft events being set up by two former people, Gio and Khan. So good luck to them. I hope there'll always be LANs. I mean, Epic LAN, they've said it publicly. They make they run their events at a loss. LANs are hard to make money from. People were moaning in previous years, oh, it's too expensive to go to Insomnia. They're expensive to put on. We live in an expensive country. I don't know what the answer is. Epic LAN are lovely people, but they have to do their white label stuff and their business stuff. Otherwise, it's not sustainable. So I don't know what the answers are, you know.
It's sad though, isn't it? Yeah.
Will Saudi run LANs?
Yeah, I don't know.
In the UK and abroad? Who knows?
Yeah, I just feel like we're running out of the goodies, you know. We're fortunate to still have John and Epic, and yeah, they're a good bunch. They are a genuine good bunch, and we're fortunate to have them. But yeah, there's few and far between now, isn't it? Insomnia's sad because I don't think it won't really hit until you think about it. Because twice a year we'd go to everyone, you know, show face a couple of days. You know, you wouldn't do anything crazy, but they're there and they're nice, aren't they? They weren't, you know, the best events to go to, but they were nice. They were cool. They were just you see everyone. It's a good excuse. See all your friends twice a year, right? And it's gonna feel hasn't hit me yet, but in a year I'll probably feel some kind of void where I've been twice a year to these things for years now. Where's it gone? You know? Odd, isn't it?
I mean, I've got an article in for this week about the history of UK StarCraft.
Oh, and Epic were a big part
and Epic LAN are a massive part of that. So I'm fortunate. I am fortunate. I feel fortunate we have Epic LAN and so on. But yeah, Insomnia, it's very sad news. I don't know what's going to... I mean, there is always a chance it comes back and someone else buys the brand. Yeah. But then if you look at who could buy it, I mean, there's Reed Pop, and I think they've merged this year. They're EGX and MCM.
That was massive. No, I think that's like, where do you draw the line of kind of a monopoly now, do you know? Because that is, I mean, wow, they own pretty much all of the big media outlets, the game media outlets. It's crazy.
They have done for a while. And I can't remember what they announced. They're selling... I think they were selling Games Industry and a bunch of those brands to IGN. That was it. This was the other week. So, you know, IGN have always been one of the biggest, haven't they?
Do you know what another piece of news quickly?
Go on.
From my last podcast? I've now got a girlfriend.
Yes, you have. Do you want to give any shout-outs, mate? Or do you want to keep it?
No, we won't. I won't make her I won't embarrass her. But yeah, we've secured.
You have tweeted though, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Secured.
Right, we won't name names then.
Secured a girlfriend, which is a big achievement, really, isn't it? Yeah. Secured.
British man adds League of Legends to thing.
Article,
does secure girlfriend.
Be like, you know, update. Since now he's now in a relationship.
Message me, I will update.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah.
I love Link.
Did you remove League of Legends as a passion on Tinder?
Oh,
It's always been on.
I think I uninstalled Tinder many years ago.
Right.
Yeah. It was a dying effort, wasn't it? Because the dating community just isn't. It's obviously heavily weighted towards women, but there's not enough women that go on these apps, and so like it's, you know, men all fighting over the same ones, you know. So it's like, yeah. Doesn't matter even if you look like Tom Cruise, like you'd be swiping for a while, you know. So it's kind of like a doomed.
He doesn't look like he ages.
He doesn't, does he? You know who I also thought doesn't age? What was I thinking the other day? Will Smith.
Yeah, he's aging well.
Too. You seen Bad Boys 2? You'd like it.
I've seen... Well, if you say Bad Boys 2, I was a fan of the original Bad Boys 1 and 2. I had the DVD box set. I haven't seen the newer one, so there's two new ones, isn't there, I think? Two or three.
It's Ride or Die, I think it's called.
I haven't seen it. I went off them a little bit.
I forget, because you're a little bit of a film buff too. Like, I've got this now, Odeon subscription.
Right.
I pay... You get a $14.99 one for normal Odeon cinemas, but the local one to me in Putney is a Lux, like you recliner chairs. So I pay £17.99 a month, unlimited films.
If you've got the time and in your position, you don't have kids, and you can go to the cinema once, twice a week, it's well worth it. Because even if you go twice, you've made your money back, haven't you?
I've done it already. I've got Mad Max and then Bad Boys, and I'll do Planet of the Apes, and then it's like wicked.
It's a way to switch off cinema, because you can forget, you can escape. You know, even if I'm playing a video game, I'll still get things pinging on my phone. In the cinema, my phone is silent in my pocket.
You have to, yeah. I've just started playing Star Wars Jedi. It's not Survivor, the other one, Fallen.
Fallen
something. Came out in 2019, did it?
I can't Yeah, I know the like, ginger character, main character. Yeah, I couldn't get into it.
Yeah,
I played it 4 or 5 hours, and I thought, do you know what? The combat feels 6 out of 10 to me. I didn't like the combat.
Combat is weird because it's a lightsaber. Why am I not slicing people in half? You know, I appreciate it's got an age range, but like I want to slice stormtroopers in half. You know. Yeah.
Maybe I didn't give the game much of a chance, but what I'm playing at the moment is Horizon. Forbidden West.
You like that?
I love the original Horizon. When I thought about it the other week, I was like, well, I like the Tomb Raider games over the years. Horizon is very much a Tomb Raider game.
Like Uncharted, then?
Yes, I do. Yeah, you got bow and arrow, but instead of it's more the robot dinosaurs or whatever, robot creatures. Uncharted, I've done 1 and 2 and 3. I think it was on the PS2 or the PS3. PS3, I think it was. But I haven't played. I've still got Uncharted 4 on my list.
Yeah, I think I've only played Uncharted 4. Good puzzles, don't they? Really good puzzles. Make them like you feel like you're really achieving something.
I
but
like
they're really
the
clever.
humour as well. Nathan Drake and all that. Another Nathan.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out.
You should do a Nathan Drake cosplay.
God, Jesus. I want to do a. At some point, I will look like you've watched 300. You know, King Leonidas.
Yeah, the Sparta thing.
That's my goal for Seek is to look like that. You know, so you'll see me. You would have seen me at Insomnia. Yeah, like
pull that off.
Cape. Shield.
You should talk to, who you should talk to is Archerom. Do you know Archerom? He's the NLC host, Portuguese. He's hosted Counter-Strike events as well. And his main is Pantheon in League of Legends. And he models himself. He really likes the character and he likes the history of Sparta. And he looks like him. So talk to him. Google Archerom interview, NLC, and you'll learn about the lore. Talk to him.
I recognise his face because I've watched a bit of NLC, so I probably recognise.
He went went crazy. Famously in the NLC, went crazy when a player picked Pantheon for the first time. Really? He went crazy on the broadcast.
Because I guess that is a rare pick, isn't it, these days? Yeah. Oh, that's just another thing. I don't watch LEC much these days. Yeah.
I don't have time to watch much esports. I will follow what I need to follow. I'll keep up to date with things on Twitter. Yeah. When I'm at an event in person, I can watch it properly a bit more because I'm away from my family and so on. But because I decided a few years back to cover all esports, anything that's interesting in the UK. I'm a jack of all trades now, master of none. I do miss following solely League of Legends, but there's more to life than League of Legends as well. And I like covering, if I don't cover things like this, I don't get to talk to people like James Banks and all this other talent. There are people out there that don't work in League of Legends in esports who are very good as well. And there are very good people in League of Legends. So,
you're right,
how's League going? Do you play much anymore?
We don't. No, I don't really. I play Overwatch now. I play a bit of Overwatch. And it's single player games, to be honest. Yeah, a bit of Valorant too. Yeah, that's it. Right, should we wrap it up? Because I know you've got 4 hour.
I feel like we've had a good chat. Is there anything else you want to add, Nath?
No, we're good. Yeah, thankful for you as always. Yeah, thank you for covering the news. We've got a few upcoming events. That Basingstoke thing. I'm sure I'll see you at a few other events, and we have our ARAM catch-ups in between, don't we? So.
And the other thing now I was going to say, just before we end it. When we organised the UK Esports Christmas party a couple of years ago, you were working full-time hot dropping it was hard for me because you had your 9 to 5 and then when it was 9-10 p.m. you're like, Dom, right, let's work. And I was like really knackered then. And now you're doing this full-time. We might be able to do some event together, rip to platform. I don't know where someone said to me the other day, when's your next event, Dom? I was like, I don't know. The other bars in London, they're not really social spaces. They're PCs. I know SideQuest have done a few things and New Meta, so I need to have a think. Someone did mention to me the other week actually another venue, and I was like, oh, that's actually a good shout, and I can't remember what it was.
I'm aware of a few more bars opening too, so there's potential. But platform, it's kind of sad, isn't it? But we should chat more. I forgot about that. We should chat more about it.
Because I'm the kind of person I like to work in the day and I try and switch off in the evening.
Because we could maybe do Halloween and a Christmas one.
I've never done Halloween. That's fun. And you're still doing Sweet Cabin, aren't you? Sweet stuff.
Still doing it.
So we could do a Halloween.
Let's chat because we've got between us we've got sponsors.
What do you want to see people watching this? Let us know how you'd like us to team up and do community events and so on. And Nath, I want to wish you good luck with getting.
Thank you, man. All the best, obviously, what you're doing too.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll see where our paths will cross because we'll work together for sure.
And-
do bits together.
And also, thanks to everyone for watching this, the small
Yeah.
amount of viewers.
15 viewers.
Although combined with our socials, we're not bad.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. not
So
bad.
thanks for watching, and we hope we'll do these more regularly, maybe even monthly. We'll see what happens in the future. Yeah. See you soon.